You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. UPRNTalkRadio.com.
Looking for something new in sci-fi or fantasy? Check out what Brandon Sanderson, Orson Scott Card, Nnedi Okorafor, and others chose as the best news stories of the year in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness, and more. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Outer Realm in the category Best Female Hosted Podcast. That's podcastawards.com. And please take a moment and do it now.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. Yes, it is that time of year again. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and get out and vote now. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard to help the aspiring writer and artist no matter their age. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in any or all of the 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and go out and vote now.
Hey there. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The News on the Flip Side, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flip Side is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate News on the Flip Side in the category of politics and news. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
You heard the man, do it now. He means it. Okay, he's got all your addresses. Oh, yes. And he can send the mighty lizard to visit your house. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. And how's everybody doing today? Yes, don't start on the hair. Don't start on what? There's a lot of stuff been going on. Actually, tonight's guest is going to be Lazarus Black. He'll be joining us later in the show. I think he's scheduled for the second hour. A lot of stuff been going on. I mean, we just there's always so much stuff. Well, Carolyn, we may talk a little bit UFO stuff tonight, just a teensy weensy little bit. But okay, what happened there? Well, welcome, people. Let's see if we can come out. Whoa, okay. I think things are a little flaky tonight. There is stuff in the back if you are watching this via Roku or Roku, whichever way you want to call it. Doesn't matter to me either way. Uh, it doesn't really matter to me either way. There are things behind me you can look and see. Sometime this week, I don't know where it's going yet. My oldest daughter brought me the copy of the Constitution, so it's going to go on a wall somewhere. But it's not going to be able to be behind me all the time because it's big. But let's see, maybe we can put it over here. Well, if the camera will behave, I don't know why the camera's so flaky tonight. Let's see. We can put it maybe next to this picture or below it or on the side over here. Well, there's stuff all over my office. Yes, everywhere you look, there's some stuff. Well, those have got, there's supposed to be blackout curtains behind them, but I took them out because I needed a little bit of sunlight. Yes, I did, just a little bit. This is where we are right now. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, but for some reason the camera's just a tad bit flaky tonight, so we'll see what that is in a minute. When we set it back on motion. Yeah, you see, I can already tell where shows are going tonight. The audience is stop. Mm-mm. This is this show's not really PG-13 rated, but still, behave. No, it's behave. We'll talk about that on Friday night. How's that? After John and Emily leave. No, I don't want to give John a heart attack. Y'all are bad. Y'all just trying to give John a heart attack. Actually, somebody new trimmed it today. Yeah, it's all lopsided shit. Yeah, I'll fiddle with it later. It's probably just in my head, but I'll fiddle with it later. A lot of stuff been going on. So, how many have been watching, keeping up with the UFO stuff? A lot of UFO stuff going on around the planet. A lot of weird politics going on around the planet. Well, so one thing nice about the Joe Montaldo show, I can talk about whatever the hell I want. What do you mean I'm going for the Nazi look? What are you crazy? Nobody Nazi had long hair. What are you on crack? Yes, because it hasn't been brushed. It's just hanging around back there. Well, I tell you what, I've been working on getting rid of my COVID belly. I know a lot of y'all understand. I've seen that. A lot of y'all understand the COVID belly. So, no, I got a lot of my friends are in excellent shape. Oh no. So as far as working and stuff like that, no, I'm not in bad shape. But just not in bad health. I just want to get rid of the belly. Yeah, it's called sitting on your ass too much during COVID. And as I'm losing weight, I'm going to have to start working out a little bit because you don't want to have, I used to work out all the time. It's just now it's hard because I don't really have the time. I'll give me one of them things you put under your desk or something. I just don't have the time. I thought about getting the whole setup so I could have the computer screen on top while I was walking and look. But I prefer to walk. I like to walk outside for real. Mm-hmm. I know I'm making all kind of faces tonight. I like to walk outside for real. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Oh no, I am actually. I'm having work. It's this side. Yeah. Usually when I get dental work done, it makes me speak funny for a couple of days. Not so much on this one. No, I'm just having an implant, but actually two. Yes. No, it wasn't because of cavities. When I was really young, we got in a wreck. The side of my face hit the door. The edge of that door thing and broke a couple of them. Yeah. No, it's just time, that's all. Things go on, things happen, things go on, and things happen. Life keeps going. Well, there's a lot been going on. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Jeremy said he wants to hook up the chat room where you can see it on the screen. We might do that. We've actually talked about setting like one of the cell phones up so they can actually see the chat screen streaming. But then half the room was like, no, I don't want people to know who I am. Yeah, no, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Yes. I know. It's a strange thing in itself. Before we get into real news, the last time I shaved my beard off my face would have been a decade ago. Yes. But every 10 years it gets shaven off. So it's overdue, actually. Yeah, it is overdue. Coca-Cola. They're now a sponsor of the network. Just for 2 shows. Yes. No, not this one. That's just they're not a sponsor of this one. But, UFO on the Cover is not sponsored like that. UFO on the Cover is syndicated on multiple AM and FM stations. So I get paid like that. Yes, it's a different kind of setup. Mm-hmm. They pay me per FM. They pay me per episode per station. Yeah. No, not right now. Well, okay. So I've got, I don't know, 1,000 UFO on the cover. So it'll take a long time, even if I decide to take some time off. You're not going to hear the same new stuff for at least 3 years at least. Yeah. And then there's slides like this with you, Joe Montaldo, which we're talking about the same thing. It's just we went into things in a different way, so we changed the name of the show for that particular episode. I know. So anyway, because y'all got to stop, because half the audience is going, "What the hell? Why he keeps pausing?" Yes, he keeps, because I'm reading the stupid chat. So anyway, I always hear about our lovely emperor and how he's been doing lately, and I hate to pick on old people because I'm not exactly a youngster, but come on. If I started falling off of planes and tripping downstairs and bumping my head, they would take my driver's license away from me. They'd probably take my internet license away from me. Mm-hmm. So, and look, it's all fine being old. Have a lot of fun, enjoy your life, enjoy your great grandkids and stuff like that. I want you to enjoy your life. Shit, I plan on enjoying mine. But you shouldn't be in charge of the nuclear weapons. Do you want to let me have the nuclear weapons, really? Do you want to let JoJo have the nuclear weapons? Let's be honest. Come on. Do you really want me to? Billy Ray, yeah, let Joe have it, man. I can hear it right now. Cool, little bit of nukes, man. Stop it. Stop. Oh, my God. What do you mean? I said I wouldn't nuke anybody. Everybody always says, "Oh, who's the first place you're going to nuke? China?" No, I like China. I don't have... No. Now, I didn't say I like their government, but I do like China. China's a great... Most of the people I meet from China are great people. Well, everybody's going to be a little tainted. You grew up with that shit. Come on, where are you from? Cheese country? You think you're a cheesehead? You get Chinese cheese, and yeah, come on. And you hate the Chinese, man. Come on, give me a break. I'm just saying, dude, give me a break. If you're going to hate on people, you know what they say about it. Don't cast stones if you live in a glass house. I think you live in one of those. Well, Melinda, let's see what we got coming up. We've got a couple of UFO shows coming up. Mainly because I'm getting bitched at because I haven't been doing any. No, I'm catching hell, I'm catching hell from members of the organization, from regular listeners, from even family members. Everybody says I have been on break for too long. Well, when we're doing news, like a news and a flip side of the centrist, I'm sorry, it's a little different. Well, first off, those are longer shows, but they're more intense shows. UFO Uncover can get intense if I'm doing like alien abductions or something along those lines. Maybe the Holocaust dreams or something. There are some things in the field that can be rather scary and rather alerting, but still, really and truly, other than that, the news is the news, baby. And right now, the news is full of everything. Well, even UFOs are in the news. There are the UAPs, identified aerial phenomena. They're all over the place. I know. I agree with you. All right. Wait, you're going to come do what? No, I don't think you're going to come brush my hair. I don't think so. No, I don't think that's going to happen. No. Let's not go there. Okay, happy it's in a ponytail. Yeah, it is. Who was that? Kimberly asked me that one day. One of the regulars, she goes, I thought you were going to dye your hair purple or red. I said, I never said I was going to dye my hair purple. I said, I might dye my beard purple or red. I could go for that purple or red. I said, you don't think purple, red? No, we're not going pink now, so I get carried away. Black and white, I think it's already that. Well, the problem is Xi Jinping is learning from Uncle Putin on what to do and what not to do, which is a dangerous game for him and for us. In the end, he wants to be the ruler of the world. He wants to be the emperor of the world, just like Joe Biden is. But okay, Joe Biden actually is the emperor of the world, but he just don't know it. No, he's off, I don't know, sniffing little girl's hair or some shit. I have no idea what he's up to. And I don't have anything against Biden. Biden was a hell of a politician when he was young. It's just, I don't know, this isn't Biden. I went back, I thought maybe I forgot or I didn't remember correctly. So I went back and listened to a lot of his stuff just to make sure that he was who he was. And he's not a progressive. He's more of a centralist. Yeah, he's definitely closer to the middle. He was hardcore. Think of it this way. If you were black, why would you have ever voted for Biden for any reason? He was responsible with the cocaine and crack law. He was responsible for directly putting 5% of the black population in jail. For unruly sentences, for unreasonable sentences, what I should say. Yeah, so you get caught with a crack pipe and a piece of crack. We're talking like a little piece of crack, like, you got 5 years, man. Give me a break. You got caught with a gram of cocaine, you got 3. You got caught with an ounce, you got 10. That's recreational. That's not dealing. I mean, they just got carried away with it. And they filled up the jails with crackhead. And then they started putting you in jail for two joints. You could get 2 years for 2 joints. I'm like, really? I'm moving to Canada. Even if Pink Shorts was in control. That was ridiculous. Oh, no, not now, Glenda. Our country has become, we are the pothead of the planet. Oh, man. No, so real quick story. I'm out in Los Angeles in April, and we went walking. We always go walking around when we're there. And we were walking over to Author Services to take some pictures of Galaxy Press. And so it's about a 2-block walk. So you make the corner, boom, you're like, wow, what is that, marijuana? Every step you took further down this street, it got worse. When you hit Hollywood Boulevard, you were loaded, and it was even worse. No, I'm not kidding y'all. It was like every other person had a blunt in their hand, just big ones too. They just walk, hey, man, what's up? You want to hit me? No, keep your lips away from mine, buddy. Thank you very much. No, it was crazy. And I didn't really personally care. I'm not like anti-pot. My problem was there's kids like this tall running around all over the place. And I'm thinking, these, and you want to know why they're running all over the place? Because they're high, man. They're stoned out of their gourd. It was ridiculous. No, I'd have to move. No, okay. I'm going to be totally honest. Even if I was a complete nutter pothead, I couldn't let my kids walk around and get high. No, it ain't going to happen. I don't know who's going to win. You mean you're talking about this next? Because this next election is going to be a shit face. Why'd you get me started on this? I ought to ban your ass out of the room for this. So, you mean the eagle thing? Yeah, I'll tell you about that. And but not right now. No, Lazarus will be coming on with us at 7:00. Yeah, we'll be chatting with him. But Uncle Biden, it's hard on me because you know we have the same first name. And I'm like, come on, Biden, stop it. I mean, just stop it. Oh man! And every time I look at the news, anyway, it doesn't even matter. It could be liberal news, conservative news, just shithead news, and it's always Biden is screwed up. Biden gave NATO secrets away at a meeting. Come on, really? And I'm like, I mean, come on, how stupid can the man be? I mean, that's insanity. You're in charge of the free planet. I mean, literally, you're in charge of the free planet, and here you are going to say, oh, well, I'm a dumbass, you know. Yeah, I'm a big dumbass too, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Did y'all know we had things here planted here? Oh shit! Did Xi Jinping hear that? Oh shit! Don't forget to tip me on that, my friend. Sometimes I don't even think it's fake anymore. Sometimes I just think it's his way of paying off his debts. Yeah. Oh yeah, seen that when China said they succeeded where Elon failed. Elon said, "Yeah, one out of how many times?" Let's see. He said, Elon said, "Can you land your rockets? Oh no, you can't. Can you return them and reuse them? Oh no, you can't. Oh, so you got some fuel to work, right? Okay." I don't know why anybody want to argue with Elon. The man's trying to change the world. What can I tell you? He literally is trying to change the world, or move to Mars, whatever comes first. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for all of us. Jimmy Lee. So there's a couple of AI things we're going to talk about now. Coming up in a few weeks, we're going to be doing a show on AI, where it is to deal with artists and authors. I'm sorry, and the implications it may have for them. Because let's be honest now. I mean, you can go write a story. Anybody can write stories now. Just go tell the AI, think of a good couple of paragraphs and let it go. Oh man, they do great. I mean, they do great comic books. Jeff Weiner was on with me a couple weeks ago, actually a couple months ago, and he was showing me how it worked. It was freaking fabulous, man. And then I said, well, make me a banner for the UFO. It made one of the best banners I've ever seen. I wish I could figure out what I did with it. Yeah, I know. Oh, no, it was great. Well, AI doesn't exactly always reproduce itself, and it's strange in the way, and it can't be copyrighted. Not at least now it can't be. I don't know how that's going to work out in the near future. Well, do you really want to go design a really nice banner from an AI, put it out into the world, and then see Joe Biden out there using it for Air Force One or something? No, I'm serious, because you can't copyright it means anybody can use it. Oh man, Blue Origin rocket explodes doing tests. Man, we got rockets exploding all over the place. Elon's blowing them up. Blue Origin blowing them up. I said this decades ago. I said the only way we were going to ever truly get into space and really move into space was to let private industry get into it, and they're proving me right every day. 4 different major companies out there every day proving they can do it better than any government on the planet. Do you realize that if you combined all the spacefaring countries on the planet, and even currently the spacefaring private businesses, they have not launched as many rockets as Elon has in 1 year. In 1 year. Don't forget, Elon lands the bitches back sometimes 2 at a time. He proved how economical space can actually be. Well, yeah. People asked that just recently. What happens if we make all these drones AI and all these planes AI, and then somebody can take it over? Well, AI is not the same as remote control. It's different, and it's a closed system. So hacking it, you probably won't be able to hack it, or unless you have some kind of code to get in, maybe. But it's going to be a lot harder than hacking something over the internet. That's going to be different. So, but what's interesting about it is there was a movie. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it now. Where the pilot had drones flying with him. Actually, it was a movie that proved the drone should fly better than the pilot. That's what the movie was actually about. Yeah, it was interesting. All I can say is pity the liberal who turns over the nuclear weapons to the AI, because no self-respecting conservative will ever do that. Matter of fact, no centralist would ever do that. Only a liberal would be stupid enough to turn over AI, the nuclear weapons. Oh no, I've already heard 3 or 4 of them say that. Oh no, I've heard 3 or 4 senators and congressmen say, well, maybe we should let AI run the nukes so we won't have to worry about it. Really, the same AI said the best way to save the planet is to kill everybody. We're going to give them the nukes. All right, yeah. I don't know what it is sometimes with liberals. They get it's like they're like the kids sometimes. They get caught up in a tizzy and they can't stop. Well, it's like wokeness. Oh, wokeness is fine until it wokes up on their ass, and then they get all crybaby like, oh, no, you was pushing wokeness, now it's pushing back on you. Because liberals aren't any cleaner than anybody else. I mean, people forget liberals voted against freeing the slaves. They created Jim Crow, and they created the Ku Klux Klan. And yet we want to give them sainthood because Kennedy was doing what? Nothing. Yeah, that's who they give credit to. It was Kennedy. He didn't give them anything. He gave Maryland something, but he didn't give them brothers anything. So I'm confused. It was good publicity. I will say that the liberals have a better publicity machine than the other side does. But that's changing too. Well, because nobody believes anything that CNN says anymore. I mean, really, if you're listening to me right now, do you honestly believe anything that CNN says? As far as that matters, do you really believe anything that NBC is telling you? Unless it's some kind of crisis, do you actually believe anything they're telling you? No. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you got about 20% of dumbness out there, but the rest of the country's going, no. Because they proved something, and this is where the media really blew it. It was already bad for them before Trump. Their approval ratings were down below 50%. But after spending 3 years attacking the president and finding out everything they said was a complete lie, and then finding out they knew it was a complete lie, that kind of put them in the drums. I think right now media is somewhere around 9%. They're teetering around the same percentage as Congress. So our leaders and the people who show us the world we don't like or trust, but yet somehow or another, they get to stay in power. I'm a little confused by that. I don't know. I don't get it. It's one of those things I got to wonder about sometimes. It's like when you dress your mom up funny. I don't understand why y'all do things like that. I just don't understand it. I see Lazarus popping. We're going to bring in a second, but I have seen Elon is in yet another venture. I think he's trying to do like Trump and them, where, somebody once told me, well, Trump had 4 bankruptcies. I'm like, wow, really? I said he had 96 other companies that done well for him. So, I know, when you hear that, because altogether he had 121 companies and only 4 of them filed bankruptcy. That's freaking pretty good odds, I'd say. But the ones that he filed bankruptcy on, he screwed over royally. I mean, he screwed, glued, and tattooed them in ways them poor contractors wish they'd never even heard his name before. Well, being a contractor is dangerous. It's not as dangerous when you do commercial work as you do residential. I mainly do commercial. My company mainly does commercial work. Well, odds are you're going to get paid. They might decide to sue you later on, but you're going to get paid. But unless you do something stupid or hurt somebody. But residential is always 50-50, man. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if they're rich, poor, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. It really, truly does not matter. They can be rich people, poor. So I had this really wealthy guy tell me one day, it was about a $15,000 job, not even that expensive. And this guy's multi-millionaire. And I said, look, we'll probably be in and out in 2 days. He's like, really, 15? I'm like, yeah. He said, man, I need to get in your line of work. I said, I don't think so. I said, because when we're not working, we're starving. And he's like, no. I said, I told you what. I said, you keep bitching about the price. Why don't you call around, get some other prices? He calls me like 2 days later, and he goes, oh, Joe, you got to come back. I said, dude, I told you not to mess around. I said, I've already started 2 jobs. You're going to have to wait the next 3 weeks. And I said, that puts you smack in the middle of summer. That means the price just went up. He's like, what? It's like, that's the way it works. And still, I went up $8,000, and I was still $10,000 cheaper than the next guy. It's just one of those things. Yes, Glenn, we're going to bring on Lazarus right now. Why? Like, do you have a crush on this guy or something, man? He's married, dude. No, I'm sorry. Yes, and his wife will kick your ass. I know his wife personally. She will kick your ass. I'm bringing it. No, I'm telling you right now. She will kick your ass. No, you don't even need to. She just kick your ass and keep it. Anyway, everybody, welcome Lazarus Black to the show tonight. He's coming on with his new book out, and we can't wait to talk about it. So let's drop him in. Bloop. Hey, man, how you doing?
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Oh, I'm alive.
Hey, everybody.
It's always a good sign. See, it's right here now. Oh, wait. Where'd we go? Oh, shit. Hold on. It was right here until I went showing people stuff. That's his latest. Let's bring it up where y'all can see it nice and pretty like. And It's $250 a copy. And y'all getting a deal at that. I mean, dude, they're selling like wild hotcakes. I mean, y'all better grab them while you can. No, so I didn't get a chance to read it because someone in my family, we're not going to mention any names, snatched it when it came through the door and gave it back to me yesterday. She says, "What is that?" Because she's always looking when I get books in, and she's like, "Can I read that? Can I read that? Can I read that?" And I don't know what I was doing. She said, "Oh, look, you got a new book." She said, "I'm gonna go read it." I'm like, "Whose book? Who's it from?" Because I thought it was from John. John was sending me some Elon stuff, and I said, "Who's it from?" She said, "I don't know. Here, look." And I said, "You can't read. I need it." She's like, "Oh no, I got it now." It's like, "What do you mean? Oh no, I got it now?" I said, "You keep it up. I'll make you come interview the guy." Anyway, she enjoyed it. I have no idea what the hell she enjoyed. We'll get you to tell us about that because apparently she enjoyed the book, which I thought was kind of funny. You got to watch. I got a lot of book readers at my house, and when my wife, that's the first thing my wife tells me, "Dad, why do you need new glasses? You got a lot of books in your room." I'm like, "Yeah, she'll read and tell me get rid of them. I'll get some more." I know how she is. So how you been, man? Everybody's treating you good up there in the northern part of the world? In the cooler part of the world?
Things are going good. I'm actually preparing to Comic-Con is in 2 weeks in San Diego.
That's right.
I'll be introducing the novel there, and then I'll be going from there to GenCon 2 weeks later. That's in Indianapolis. And DragonCon, it's in September, and then I'm trying to figure out how to get to FanX in Salt Lake.
I'm actually trying to. I wanted to go back to. I actually, Dan Farr puts on a really nice show, and don't get me wrong, I like DragonCon. I don't want to take nothing away from DragonCon. I don't want to start no rivalries. I had a good time. Well, in that, my wife keeps trying to talk me into moving to Moab. My baby would never move to Moab. It's not going to happen. Yeah, but you got no. It's not happening. We're not moving to the desert. I live in the ocean, and I mean, I actually live in the ocean. We're not moving nowhere else. No, Christopher, I actually live in the ocean. My house is on stilts. Yes, when we get high tide, it's like in my yard with me. Yes, it's like, "Oh, hi, Joe. Want to come fishing today? Stand on the deck." And if we get a little storm or something, it's like 3 foot in my yard. Yes, just so y'all know. But there's lots of videos. I've posted them. So it's out now, right? We can get it, or we gotta wait still.
Yep. No, it's out. You can only get it through me right now. That on my own website, Lazarus.Black, not .com, not .net, not .org, .black. Yes, that is a legitimate ending to a web address. So Lazarus.Black, and you can get it through there or get it from me in person. I'm trying to generate reviews before I release the ebook version. That'll be out on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and through my website this fall. But I really want to people to read it first and start getting it, getting a buzz around it.
Yeah, let people know it's out and about. Well, I'll get my daughter to post them because I know she read it the other day and I know she enjoyed it. Because when she doesn't enjoy them, she whines at me about it. She's like, "Are you going to bring him on your radio show? Really?" I'm like, "Stop it." Oh, man. She's, well, like I said, there's a lot of readers, and that's why they'll never get to read anything. All right. I'll send it to Emily first.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell Emily, I'm talking about Emily Goodwin, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, but I always threaten Emily with like 200,000 words to edit for me. I can't say on this show what she says, y'all. It's sad. It's just sad. And a good friend of ours, John Goodwin, had an archive break a live show break a million today. I was stunned.
He did what?
Or Monday, yeah, broke a million with who she had on Natty.
Oh, Nettie Okorafor.
Yes, yeah, that's who he had on.
She's
I thought Dan was going to get it. Well, he's been floating somewhere between 8 and 9 for a while, so I figured. Dan Farr is pretty well known. A lot of people like him.
Which Dan?
Dan, Salt Lake City Dan. FanX Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, what is Dan Farr, right? F-A-R, anyway, something like that. He's, but I figured he might get it, but no, she got it. I was surprised. And,
she's working on Shuri now. She helped work on Black Panther. She's really got a really good niche going.
See, people just shows how ignorant I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's so funny for me because in the first ever year I went to see y'all, it was like somebody speaking Greek. I was like, what the hell are they saying? I had to learn a whole. No, I'm serious, people. You freaking authors, especially the illustrators on his bad damn authors, got their whole freaking language. You got to be paying attention to what they're talking about. Well, I learned all kind of new stuff. It was very interesting to find out. Authors are very strange people. That's all I can say. Most of them are really nice people, but they're very strange. Illustrators not quite. They're. I don't want to say that. I'll get in trouble. I knew it was coming out of my mouth next, and that would get me in trouble. I'm friends with both. I have friends that are illustrators and friends that are authors. If you're going to ask me who, before I let Lazarus speak again, if you ask me who I party with at the thing, because I just seen that go up, they're all illustrators. Unless Lazarus is there. He's both, so he's still illustrated too, but I don't know what it is. The illustrators are very quiet when they're there, when they win, but they seem as they get older.
It depends on the crowd. It really does.
It does.
This year it was a pretty quiet, tame crowd in 23, but 22, there were some really beautiful, boisterous personalities on both the authors and the illustrators.
There was. All I can say, people, is you got to win 10, or write a big book, become a millionaire, and maybe they'll let you be a judge or something. I don't know, but all the judges are fairly famous, guys. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You'd have to talk to John about that anyway. Write to John Goodwin at Galaxy Press. Say, John, can I please be a judge? And he'll be real nice and write you a letter back and say no. Big answer. Here you go. Wait, you mean me? No, they'd never let me judge. First off, you couldn't get me to sit down and read that many books in a row to start off. It's not going to happen. Art, and what do I know about art? Really? Let me go get the finger paints out and let's see. I'm going to go finger paint something and send it to his wife and see what she's got to say. Y'all met Echo before. She would not be nice. I just tell y'all that. She'd be like, John, I don't think this is for you, man. So wait, first, what is this? How many books we got out there? 4 or 5?
Oh no. This is the first novel. The before that, it's the anthology of short stories.
Oh, okay. That's why, because it was an anthology. That's why I got confused.
Yeah, but the anthology includes 3 novellas and I have each of those novellas up separately as ebooks on Amazon, so it looks like I've got a pretty big catalog, but it's 2 full-sized books. The anthology is about 450 pages. This is 550. I like giving people
somewhere I got a copy. Oh, well, they shut up then. Never mind. No, we were anyway. We'll just leave this subject alone. But
that's okay.
I could have swore I had the other one in the house. I'm almost positive.
Probably got stolen again.
No. It was. Oh, I think I know where it's at. It's up there with the other big pack of books. I got. My wife keeps telling me to throw a book. Well, not throw them away, give them away. She'll never let me throw a book away with it. She get some of these books out of my house, man. It's because every Christmas I'm gonna give away as many as I can, or as many as I can get out of my house. But you Canadian people, y'all might be shit out of luck this year. Send 3 books to y'all was $100. I don't know. I love y'all, but I don't know if I love y'all that much. And since you can buy them cheaper up there, I think you might have to do it the hard way. The lightsabers, we will give lightsabers away this year, yeah. And Martha, before you ask, if you're a friend of the station, a friend of a friend, anybody associated with us is the author, writer, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're associated, you do qualify. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Because we want the everyday people to win. See, like this year, I'm going to make him send me a couple of these, so it'll be like last year. So remember last year, y'all got book 36, what is it, 36, 37, 38 last year, plus the lightsaber. So you got this badass lightsaber that you won. And then you got the 3. I know it was a great giveaway last year. It was just fabulous giveaway. And then what's his name's alien book came in, and we were giving him away with the lightsabers. Well, yeah, he'll have books out at Christmas. Yes, Lazarus, you'll have books out at Christmas, right? I keep getting retards.
Books available. I don't know if I'll get a new book out in time for Christmas, but I'll have these out. Yeah.
Well, no, you need to have this one.
Oh, the ebook, absolutely. But yeah, these will have. Yeah,
because it's
them. So
So you're doing print on demand, or
No, I print them in bulk. I mean, that's my career, has been publishing
no? Okay, well, you
individually.
understand
So
what you're doing. Yeah, well,
yeah, so I printed up a small batch at a time, and so I'll be bringing them all over. I ship them directly myself. I don't do print on demand. First of all, it doesn't. I don't earn anything off of it because it's
yeah,
so
I was wondering
expensive.
about that. Well, I was wondering, and I don't know diddly about it. That's why I was asking, because I've heard other people really bitch about they're not getting. It's just not worth their time. I know a friend of mine. He's got a couple of books out now, but he's like, his first three. He said, I don't even know why I bothered. He said I should have just went out to the library and gave damn things away. He said it would have been cheaper on me, and more people would have heard about it. I was like, but he
Yeah,
got lucky. His last one got picked up by I think it was Books a Million and Barnes and Noble. One of them, man. He
nice.
did it. Yeah, he did okay. And this next one did really well. But you know how they are. If you sell good first time, second time they pay you more. People
Well,
even good.
everyone's got a different path. I mean, I am already going to Comic Cons over the summer to bring my wife's art, so I already have a booth. So, and she already has a large fan base of genre fiction, people
She
like
does.
fantasy and sci-fi, who already know me personally. So I can bring it out to them and show them, and I've got a pretty good leg up to start this. Um, I'm not starting from absolute ground zero. That would be a tough part.
Well, I've listened. I mean, you've been there for the discussion, not arguments. Sorry, people, discussions on whether you should go to Comic Cons or not. You've heard some of the judges talk about it. I've heard several other judges talk about going, not going. Um, I want to go. I like to go because I like to be with my fans. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's the point. The point is to go and to meet people face to face. No matter what you're doing, if you're a creator, the best way of putting yourself out there is to meet people face to face,
Yeah.
and it can take time to build up a reputation. If you're lucky and talented, you can put something in front of people that they'll jump on right away. That's how my wife did it. And it really makes a huge difference because people are less likely to put an investment into like a book or even a work of art on something they just find online or they just see an advertisement for. But when they meet the creator in person, they get the experience like, oh, I've met this person. I like this person. I want to support this person. And then you're not, as a creator, you're not just meeting fans, you're meeting people who will make more fans because they'll take the book, and they'll go home, they'll read it. And if they enjoy it, they'll tell all their friends about it. Hey, I
Mhm.
met the author. They signed it. You should really read this book. Even if they loan the book out, doesn't matter. Eventually the word will get out and people will start
Yeah,
looking.
because most of them have online friends now, and
Yep.
they'll get on and they'll talk. Hey, I met the author. It's a really good book. Y'all should check it out. And they have online friends. I've learned, when I first got into this, I didn't realize how fast things would go. I mean, when I first started doing radio, I was like, I had like 100 people. I was like, oh man, I was happy. Dude, don't get me wrong, dude, I was happy. When I got my first 1,000, I went out to a damn party. I remember when I got my first 10,000. And then when I got my first million, I almost passed out. I was like, who the hell why me? People would listen to my ass. That's ridiculous. And then even today, I still think that even today. But I like to go hang out with my friends. I go hang out with them. So far, knock on wood, been no bad experiences. People have been really nice. Put it in perspective, I'm at DragonCon. I'm not doing interviews. So somebody asked me to come interview the cos. Damn it, I can't get it out of my mouth. The the cosplay people. So I said, all right, yeah, I'll go and do it. And they had actually some famous people. I didn't know they were famous, by the way. I know this much about cosplay. No, maybe this much, but still, I go over and start talking to people. Very interesting group. We had a lot of fun. So I'm talking. We're doing interviews. I'm talking. Next thing I know, there's like 15 people standing behind me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get out the way. You're like, oh no, we want to interview you. I'm like, they recognize me for Ancient Aliens. I was like, uh oh, and I forget sometimes that my face is halfway recognizable. I've been on TV a few times, but it's weird when you're out and about and they come up, but I enjoy it. I mean, I really like, and I'll give away all kind of shit. I ain't even got a lot. I have a lot of fun, and I think it's good for business. I know a lot of judges I heard talk about it didn't necessarily think it was good for business, but I gotta say, long
Well,
term, I think it was good for business.
it entirely depends on how you measure what's good for business. Because if somebody's new and they're going to go to a Comic-Con and they're going to make the investment in the multi-day hotel room and the exhibit space and all the food and all the drinks they're going to have at BarCon, and then they think about how many books they have to sell to justify that, to pay it back, that's a really hard sell. But if you think of it as it's a marketing opportunity to get your face out there and present yourself and start generating a fan base, then every dollar spent is valuable. It just takes time to really have it turn out and churn out. And honestly, with the independent publishing world, that's not easy. I mean, most people have day jobs. This just happens to be my day job, so I lucked out.
They say that's good. I remember when I first got into all this, somebody's like, you know, you got a day job. I said, yeah, and I still have that same day job, by the way, too. But it's just nicer to me to be out and about with the people. I just like hearing what they like about what we're doing, what they don't like about what we're doing, what they think about us. And it used to be just me. They were just talking about me. Now when I go somewhere and somebody recognizes me, it's the whole damn station. We got 30 hosts now. So they want to tell me about this host or that host and this one or that one. Sometimes it ain't always nice, but it's a lot of fun. But I know by taking that 5 minutes or that 10 minutes, they're going to turn around and tell somebody, hey, he was a really nice guy. And that's all you need, because when they say that other person's going to come listen. And usually we have enough stuff to these days that they're going to get hooked on something. So it works, you know, but to each his own. I'm not gonna tell you to get a goddamn do it, people. It's not for everybody. Lazarus, like me, he can handle having a bunch of people around him. It's not going to bother him. It's not going to irritate him. He can deal with a bunch of questions coming in. Not all of y'all can. Some people are not suited for this, by the way.
Well, you know, I've been in advertising for a long time. I actually started off as a carnival barker at a Six Flags as a teenager, and you know, I loved art and I loved video games. I wanted to go make video games at first, but when I got to art school, I found there was a lot more about art that I didn't know. So I started exploring that, and then I just fell in love with the idea of communicating with people, and not just telling stories, but actually trying to make a difference. And I thought of advertising as a way of, you know, helping people find the products that would make their lives better. I've since been disillusioned, but that was my career. Now I have a lot of experience. I can help other people market and promote themselves in a heartbeat. It is hard as a hell to promote myself. I don't know. It's like all of a sudden, all those inhibitions crop up. Like, I shouldn't be talking about myself. I shouldn't be, you know, bragging about myself, talking about, you know, things that I've done, awards that I've won. I'm getting better at it because, you know, I have something to say. Turns out I do have a quality product to tell people about, but getting myself to still instantly drop into sales mode and drop my blurb about my book and talk about it and what everything is that I'm doing. You know, my tongue's getting tied right now. I mean, it's just all these nerves and all these things build up. If I'm behind the scenes, I can promote somebody else, or if it's not my product, it's not my soul on the line, so I can brag about it. But as soon as it's talking about me, it makes a big difference in how it comes out.
Well, that just, you know, that's not a lot of people have that because, you know, we think, all right, man, how are people looking at me when I'm saying this? Because somebody was talking to me about the station when they said, Joe, you got a lot of awards these days. I said, yeah, we do. And he said, well, you never talk about them. I said, well, you know, if they're regular on the station, they know we got the awards. And if they don't, because I haven't even put them up on a new website yet. And they're like, why not? I said, it's in some ways it feels a little immodest to me. I don't know. It's Still to this day, if someone asks me for an autograph, I look at them like, and the bad part is I don't mean to look at them like that. I'm probably scared of poor bastards. But it's still a thing that it's aloof to me. I'm not. Somebody said you should be used to it, but they're right. I should be. I've had enough articles and shit done about me and documentaries and stuff that I should. But it's just still feels, and I can understand what you're saying because now the only thing you do between you and I, when I hit the stage, it's over. It's on, and it is on. I don't know why it just comes on, bloop, and when I step off the stage, it goes off.
I think there is something about a change in environment. Like
yes,
when I go into work and I sit down in my office, I'm in work mode. I'm in office mode. When I'm go on stage, I'm in stage mode. When I'm at a bar, I have no idea what to do with myself.
Yes.
That's why you won't really find me at bars unless I know there's going to be a group of people that I know how to hang out with.
Well, that's true. Who wants to go to a bar by themselves anyway? It ain't no fun. I took Chris and his friends. I'm not going to talk about that. John ever finds it, he'll kill me. What he knows about it, he'd kill me if he knew what actually went on. It's you didn't get to meet Chris, did you? Chris from Australia, because I called him Mr. Blue Eyes because the boy had more energy than you and I put together.
I don't think I've met him yet.
No, I think he was a year you weren't there actually, and he won the year before, but he couldn't make it, and then so I think it was a passport thing, and then he got
No, I did meet him. He was that's right. He was he won the year that I was not there.
Yeah,
and he came into class the year that I won, so I spent the entire week with him. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the first time him and I met, we didn't get back to the hotel till 7 a.m.
Yeah,
we were walking in as John Haley was walking out with breakfast. He said, "Where y'all been all morning?" I said, "Oh, he's out." And then he looked at me and said, "I just kept walking."
Oh yeah, there were quite a few characters that year, and he was one of them.
He was one of them.
Jack Stombos, myself, a few others.
So, see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I got used, maybe the last 3 years, the last 3 women's groups, because the year before that was 2. So maybe I just got used to people being a little bit more outgoing. Because this year was tough. It was tough. It was even tough for me to even get interviews in because first people were a little bit scary, and the schedule was very tight this year, and so it was just made it hard. And but still there were some good people here this year. There were some fun people.
There were, but
April and Sarah are pretty good.
There have been usually every year that I've been there, as a judge, I've seen all the different groups pass through. Almost every year, there's at least one person who steps forward as being a bit of the leader.
It's true.
That's not really leader, but maybe the ringleader. The person who gets everyone into trouble, the person who's willing to rally everyone around, the big personality. And it was weird. My year, there were like 6 of us or 7 of us that all had that personality that was ready to rally people around. And then the past year, at least among their artists, there wasn't a single person. In fact, that was pretty odd. But like on my year, we have the before the actual presentation, there's the practice. So it's the day before. So everyone goes into the stage area, and everyone goes up and practices what they're going to say, and gets used to the cameras with no crowd there. They stand on stage, they point out where your marks are and your timing, and they do a dry run through everything. And just completely impromptu, we started getting into competitions about how obnoxious we could get on stage. And it was just, we were getting just more and more. Each person was trying to outdo the other person during practice. I have to hand it to Mike Stombos. I mean, when he got up and got to the microphone, he started singing opera, and there was like nothing that could follow that.
Oh, Lord. What's that, Jack? Oh, no, they have to get ready for the gala event. They have practice. Yes, because they're bad and they're getting in trouble without it. That's why. I don't know if I'd call it it's not a dress rehearsal. It's just a rehearsal.
It's rehearsal. I mean, not most people have never been on stage before to begin with. Most people have never been in front of a camera. Most people have never talked into a microphone in front of a group of people. So it helps break down the fears. It also, you don't want people to be, you don't want every single person to go, now what am I doing? No, they just tell everybody up front. Everyone practices so that when the time comes, you've already done it once, so it's easy. It also helps, it tells the people who are running the show, where the mics should be, where the lights should be, how they look best on stage, and then of course, if there's anything that needs to be corrected, like where people are going to leave the stage. Sometimes they leave the stage by going off side stage. Sometimes they come down through the steps. That this year, for example, out of the blue, they remembered about halfway through rehearsal that some people are going to need help walking down the stairs, and those people would be wearing high heels and long dresses.
Yes, they would be. And there's some serious heels going on there.
Yeah, so out of the blue, and then of course there are people who just have balance issues. So they had to make sure that, they remembered that during rehearsal, and you don't want to have this happen, that night of.
Yes, and there's lots of crying issues, so you had to take that in consideration. No, Denise, there was lots of crying going on. The only thing that rivaled the crying at the gala would be the crying at the reveal.
Oh yeah,
when they do no, not the book reveal. They do a reveal when they reveal the art and the artist to the author. Yes. Well, yes, they do I'll get Lazarus. Lazarus, you explain it to him. It'll take me all day to explain it to him what goes on there.
Oh, briefly. So we're talking about Writers of the Future, and I was a first place winner in 2022. I'm also a judge for the illustration side, which is kind of awkward, but it's an anonymous competition, so it was completely on the up and up.
Yes, it was.
So every year there are 12 writers and 12 illustrators are selected as winners. The writers' stories get published, and the illustrator winners, they are actually assigned the stories to illustrate. So when they're finished, they're published. Each illustrator did a work of art for one of the stories. Well, almost every single writer who's entered the competition has never actually had their story come to a visual fruition before. They've never had anyone draw it, certainly not anyone of significant talent before. So they just have the story in their head, and that they don't see what the artist does until a special night reveal. They open up a room, they set up all these easels with all the different artwork on them, and then they let the authors in who get to walk around and try and identify which illustration goes with your story. And it's always emotional. It always blows the author's minds. What blew my mind with the artist who did mine is that he was freaking 17 when he won and 18 when he did my illustration.
They had some babies.
18-year-old did what he did for me. It was incredible. So his name was Tenzin Rangdal, amazing kid, and I wish him the best. He's going to go somewhere.
It amazed me how many. I mean, I know they had the girl from Spain was like 16 one year. I was like, come on, people, we're getting kind of young here. Well, they win, and then it's the next year before they actually get to come. So we're just wrapping up, I think, 40 right now, right?
This is going to be this is the 40th one. Next year is going to be the release of the 40th.
Yeah. No. Okay, Mark. They just have a gala. There's no big parties. I don't know who told you that. Oh, well, because how can I say this? There's BarCon, and we'll leave it at that. But there's no real big parties, if that's what you ask.
It's not like the Oscars where there's great big after parties where everyone goes to Spagos or anything.
Yes.
Basically, after it's an entire week where we spend with each other, and we are always hanging out with each other in some ways, as peers, congratulating each other and supporting each other and getting to know each other and hopefully finding ways of supporting our careers in the future. But also, it's hard to find friends when you're a creator and all you're doing is spending all your time at your desk, either typing away or painting away. You don't get out. So this is an opportunity to do that. So what he's talking about BarCon is the term just means a convention at the bar, at the hotel bar.
That's all it means. It's not
a hotel.
It could be 2, it could be 5, it could be 10. At
the end of the night, every single night, everyone just goes down to the bar and hangs out and talks. Not as much drinking as just
it's more of an easier time for the winners to meet the judges in a more relaxed situation. Because when you run up on someone like Tim Powers when he's doing a lecture, he's fast, man. He's going. Jody's not quite. Jody's a little smoother, but catching him, right after they've done something's kind of hard, especially with the thing. So it's good you can catch them in the evening having dinner. Most of them, I'll be honest with you, most of the judges invite people to dinner with them.
Yep.
Or lunch.
How do I lunch, dinner. The judges want to be there. They do.
That's what fascinates me more than anything about this whole damn event, that the judges actually want to be there and do this. And what do you mean they're getting paid? They ain't getting paid. They're doing this because they like you goofballs.
Well, they get paid, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
Considering how yes, I get paid a small stipend when I go there. It doesn't really make up for how much I lose for my business. Okay. It's not like I'm going down there and I'm making bank on going down there. It's just a small stipend that helps. But
it's all about love, people.
Exactly. The entire point is the judges are people who have done so well in our respective fields that we don't really need a lot more recognition personally for what we do, but we love the idea of helping the next generation. There are people who are just natural teachers, and there are people who are not. We at the judges are all kind of natural teachers. They weed them out. They only select judges who have the particular personality, who really want to help, really want to talk to people. And I don't mean as a guru who wants to set up a career as being, I'm the greatest teacher and instructor, blah, blah, blah. No, we just want to help people. Not all of, for instance, in the art world, I'm online, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Discord. Actually, I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Discord, and I'm talking to young artists all the time, just giving free advice on how to do your career. And the writers judges are kind of doing the same. I've found 2 authors who are 2 writer judges who have been seem to be more in sync with the type of career that I want to have as an author, and are very supportive. Rob Sawyer gave me a quote to use to promote my book with, because he loved my story for Writers of the Future, and he liked our conversations, and he feels good about attaching his name to me, and that's invaluable. It's not like I can go to him every single day as a mentor and ask him to treat me as a teacher, but he has been there the few times I've asked him, and we follow each other on Facebook, and suddenly now this 4-time Lifetime Achievement Award-winning sci-fi author who's won every single award in the book is, now knows my name and calls me friend. It's like, yes.
It's funny you said that, because I was somewhere eating lunch with a friend of mine the other day, and he was talking about sci-fi, and he said he brought his name up a couple of times. He's like, really? I said, he's really that big? He's like, yeah, Joe, you were sci-fi. I said, he's really. I was just baiting him. He's going on and on. I'm like, yeah, I had lunch with him, had dinner with him. He's like, what do you mean you had lunch? I said, yeah, I had lunch and dinner with him a few times, actually. And he was like, I said, I got to listen to some pretty good stories, and he was just beside himself after that. He said, I'm not talking to you anymore. I said, become an author. You go meet him yourself, man. See, it's when I tell this to people, when I'm doing a lecture somewhere, and I bring this up to people, that you can actually meet these people. You just got to win. And everybody's, well, that's hard to do. I said, not if you're good. I said, if you're good, it's not hard to win. He said, well, they got favorites. I said, no, they don't. I said, it's all. Because I was getting a Tulane University teacher was giving me shit about this. He's going, well, they probably play some kind of game and science this, and I said, first off, so you know, there's none of that Scientology involved in any shape, form, or fashion. And secondly, so you know, I said it's completely blind judge. And the way I found out is, I said the president of Galaxy Press, who runs the whole thing, is actually a friend of mine now. So the first year I met him, I gave this man the year from hell. I said, I'm not kidding you. I gave him the year from hell. So he finally said, Judge, just come out here. So I get out there. He goes, I said, so what am I going to do now? He said, I don't care who it is you want to talk to. It could be in my company, their company. It doesn't matter. You have carte blanche. You can talk to the judges, the winners. He said, the people at all the service, people, and nobody's going to tell you no. And nobody told me no. And everyone asked everything answered everything I asked. And they answered like, hey, yeah, Joe. And they just, so you could tell they weren't even lying. And, you know, guys, I have degrees in voice stress analysis and facial body language anyway, so it's hard to lie to me. So I'm kind of like, so now I can endorse them and feel good about endorsing them and tell people, go out and see Lazarus. You win, you get to hang out with Lazarus. He's a blast to hang out with. Oh, man, they all are. Oh, yeah. Just don't irritate his wife. I'm just warning. No, Echo is tough. She don't play with me. I'm just telling y'all. She's actually, out of all the judges I met, she's the most fairest judge there because I watched the first 2 years and I watched her get up on the stage and model almost fell off the freaking chair. I was like, that was great. And then, but I noticed when she dealt with people, she was to the point. She wasn't mean or hostile or anything like that. She's very nice, but she expected you to be paying attention when she talked to you. And that's how she is. And she goes through it. Out of all the judges there, she's the fairest judge because she's the one who's less scary to tell y'all something that you might not want to hear. Not that all of them won't. That's not what I mean. But some of them are a little bit, you know, it's like, okay, yeah.
Everyone
could be like,
everyone's has a personality.
She's great. She's one of my favorite judges in the whole place.
Me too, actually.
But you that's not fair for you. Yes, I don't know why were you talking about. He's got a different last name. We're just not going to tell you what it is. Look you up, is all I can tell you.
It's not a secret. It's not something to talk about here, but I'm not hiding it. Yes.
No.
Black happens to be the translation of my actual name, so it is still legitimately
legit. It's still legit, people. Well, we've actually talked about him before on a show with his other half. We were doing artwork that's really for 21 and over. So,
yeah.
Well, actually 18 and over. Look, you little 16-year-olds. I don't care. Just don't get in trouble with me. I don't want to hear about it. if YouTube don't care, I don't care. No, it's all still available up there. It's great. She's a fantastic artist. I really like her. And, Lazarus does both writing and art.
Yeah.
So
I didn't. Neither one of us did the cover for my book. As beautiful as it is,
yes.
That my wife did not have the style that the book required, and neither did I. I actually was really, really stressed out about what I was going to do.
You were going to pull it out, yeah.
And as my Valentine's Day present, Echo hired an artist, and she art directed the cover for me, and she got me that cover. And it is absolutely gorgeous. And
it is a gorgeous cover.
It's true to the character.
She's a hot little character, whoever she is.
Yep. Her name is May, and the book takes place in Atlanta. And she is a struggling young woman who is, doing the best she can under impossible situations, and suddenly discovers things like magic, and she inherits a 75-ton temple bell out of the blue. And nothing gets easier in her life until she discovers there's a great golden dragon that is going to take over Atlanta using the bell. And the only one that can stop her is May. And that is a really terrible description because, as I said, as much as I memorize all my own pitches, I can't really.
Well, it's not good to tell them they need to go buy the damn thing anyway. I give authors, and you hear me do this. I've given authors some shit before. I was listening just recently to one's going on. And I said, dude, stop. He's like, why? I said, I read your book. He's like, why? I said, you're giving the whole book away. Stop. I said, at this point, I wouldn't even buy your next book, man. I said, stop. He couldn't help himself. Because it was a good book. I'm not going to lie, but he got into saying it. And I'm like, dude, I said, because I usually tell people, give them a little in the middle. Try to stay away from the beginning to end as much as possible, because
Right.
So reason I say that is everyday people are not going to get it. People who read, people who read, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all are going to get it. If you're listening for 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to know what the whole story is. Even if it's a twisty at the end, you're going to probably still know what it is. And I since my audience is at least half that, I'm always a little stay back, people.
I write pitches. I wrote pitches for a living for 20 years. I know how to write pitches. I know how to describe things. But when I wrote this book, I wanted to be a little bit different. I didn't write it as a traditional action adventure novel. And all of the standard writing advice you can find online or amongst a couple of the some of the panels or classes you can get all teach you how to write a pitch for a standard adventure novel. And I could sit here and I could say, that in a world where X is, then the character encounters this, and then the world goes to hell until, will they survive Y? And I could write that, but it's either going to divulge something that doesn't come out till halfway through the book, or it's just not going to justify what the real story is.
Yeah.
Because not every story in the world has to be that. I mean, this is actually more of the story of this one woman, and her evolution from becoming this liar who's barely scraping by in the world, with incredible amounts of debt, and all alone, how she's struggles to build a found family around her, so that at the end, despite confronting this great evil, she's put herself in a position where she's out of debt, and she's out of this loneliness, and she's surrounded by people. That's really the story, but the details are everything.
Yeah, what's going on in between?
Yeah, how she does that is incredibly powerful.
Why? Go out and get it, people. Click. Don't worry, I'll make sure that there's a link on the website. It probably won't get put up till tomorrow, but I'll make sure there is. Okay. You know what? Pop me one in the comment section right now. I'll put it on the scrolling banner so they can find it in the scrolling banner. Because I don't think it's in the scrolling banner. Your email's in there and all kind of other stuff's in there. But
no, I think you do have it.
Do I? Oh, well, wait, let it go by. I thought I did, but then I don't know.
No, you have my email address. I just posted the.
Oh, okay. I'll grab that. What is that, Donnie? I have no idea what the hell that means, or you speak English, man. No, don't speak Klingonese, because I don't have nothing to translate it.
Klingon, I know.
Yes, I don't have anything in front of me to translate no Klingonese at the moment. I know you're cracking me up with that Klingonese stuff. So what do you want to ask him? Oh, okay. It was a simple question. He just was babbling on. He just wanted to know, what was your inspiration for this? Because it's kind of a little twisty being in Atlanta. Obviously, she's Asian.
So it is technically a urban fantasy / magical realist novel, which means that it's the real world where the main character discovers that magic is real, and she falls into that world, sort of an Alice in Wonderland sort of thing. Not really traveling to another world. It's just she sees how magic is actually affecting the world. Inspiration-wise, I play a role-playing game called Shadowrun a lot, and with my wife, and she created this character. We were playing the game. I was the game master. It was based in Atlanta, and she created this character that was really, really interesting. And we started playing, and I developed the world around her. I developed the story. I changed her life, and we played for a while, and it turned into this really interesting, epic story. Now, you can't just write a game in a novel. So I had to translate everything so that it would become a start to finish arc of mostly a single character. And in doing that, I built all of this extra meaning into everything. She's the big thing about storytelling, especially screenwriting, is the concept of reversal. What a character starts off at the beginning needs to be reversed at the end. The most famous one is, of course, they're alive at the beginning, they're dead at the end. But there's, of course, every single character, if they're lonely at the beginning, they have to have a family at the end. If they're, if they have the family at the beginning, they have to be lonely at the end. But it has to happen throughout the entire story. And you can watch films and you can see it almost every single scene. And the character was a liar and a thief and an escort and someone who was absolutely hated and despised in her culture and in her world. And how can I reverse that? Well, I turned her into the most extreme opposite of that by the end of the novel. And getting from point A to point B was a real challenge. I had some touch points that I had already gone over. I had some characters to help them along the way. But I realized that going from someone who lies to someone who tells the truth was kind of boring. So instead, it's called the True Dragon of Atlanta because the bell that she inherits is this giant magical bell that, if rung, will reveal individuals' true selves. The evil dragon who thinks that everyone inside is an evil monster, and when the bell rings, that they're going to erupt and become destructive and start riots. Well, the story takes place in Atlanta, which is a melting pot, and it has a lot of interesting culture around it, of people saving face and people having a history of saying things they don't mean to cover things. I mean, bless your heart has a very specific meaning. While it says that everything's all well and good, the reality of what it means, depends on the situation.
Yeah.
And so the concept is that what goes on in people's hearts the truth inside people's hearts might not actually be the best thing in the world. So here you have a character who is a liar, and she's a liar because she realizes how dangerous the truth can be. So my reversal was, I took the concept of lying and made that good and beneficial.
People, get out there, get the book and read it, see what's going on.
Of course, it's more complicated than that because it's 550 pages.
That's right. So when I see Lazarus next year, I'm getting to autograph this one.
I already did.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't know. I hadn't looked yet. See, that's what happens when you have stepkids. You see that shit? I can't help it. They thieving little shits. Well, all right, that's not fair, but they snatching little shits. They're full grown shits. By the way, she's 55 snatching stuff. So what, Denise? Oh, you thought I was talking about a little kid? No, she's full grown adult. Yeah. Yeah, she big time. No, it's so funny. So John and I have this special coming up over the next year, a couple of 3-hour shows on Elron. So I was waiting for those, and I knew Lazarus had already sent me the book because he had told me it was on its way. So I just figured when it came in, because she said, "Oh, it's a big box." I'm like, "What?" So I said, "It must be John's stuff." Well, they both came in at the same time as that happened. So she's going through them. She said, "I don't know. I'm not really interested in none of this." And then she's seen some big picture book John gave me, so she's flipping through that. And then she's seen this one. She goes, "I like this title." She said, "I like this cover. I like this title." I said, I always tell you, don't judge a book by its cover. Boom, it was gone. I mean, it was literally that. She said, "I'll bring it back. It's only going to take me like a day to read it." I'm like, "So it's a little bigger than you think it is." "Oh, maybe 2. I said, "Okay." And then when I seen her earlier today, when she came and put it over there, She goes, "Oh, I like this book. I get to meet this guy." I said, "If you're at one of the cons he's at where I'm there, you can." Oh, okay. That was the end of that conversation. Let me tell you what, my stepdaughter is like my wife when it comes to reading. They are finicky. You never know what they're going to like and what they're not going to like. Other than Anne Rice, they both like Anne Rice for some reason. But other than that, you just don't know. And because every now and then I'll see something like, this looks like this might be cool. No. I should have never brought that book home. Nope. Shame, JoJo. And then sometime I'll bring something home that'll we had brought a case of books home from one of the job sites we were on. And next thing I like all these. She's just reading away. Yes, because you reader people, as I like to call y'all, read like it's insanity or something. Denise, when I was young, I was a reader. I really was. I went to private schools. I was required to do lots of book reports, and I had to do all the classics. So I got to read all the good stuff. As I got older, my life got a little more busier. And then I started really liking girls. I became complicated with my reading. it was competition going on. But no, y'all think I'm slaying with y'all. And then my life got a little bit more complicated. Then all of a sudden I had a baby. Oh, yeah, let's just tell you on that. I don't have no freaking babies if you want to read, unless you want to read baby shit stories. It's funny. I got in trouble one time because I was reading I was reading some horror story to my son. You know what the hell I was saying? He's like 7 months old. He didn't know. He was just going for the sound of the voice. I was story was my mom or somebody, my aunt. You can't read it to him. I said, he doesn't know what the hell I'm saying. He don't speak English. He still speaks that baby talk. Shit was too funny. But he likes to write. When I can sit him down, he actually likes it, but I can't get him to say anything to y'all. He's like, I'm like, dude. I said, one, you can't get no favors because we got the same name. That's not going to help you. And two, they're not going to laugh at you or anything. They're just going to tell you, try again next year. I said, and if it's decent, they'll tell you it was decent. If it's a runner-up, they'll tell you that. And if you win, they'll tell you that. I said, just listen when you hear this number come. If Jody answers the phone. I said, and yes, people, Jody is the goddess at Writers of the Future. That's all I can say. And you'll only know why if you win. That's all I can tell you. Yes, I'm sworn to
Jody's
secrecy.
awesome.
Yes. John said something about hurting me actually Emily said something about hurting me.
I don't know if I don't know if it's been said yet, but the fun thing about my particular volume that I won first place in, volume 38, that volume won 2 more awards all by itself.
Yes, I know. I remember that because John had called me when what was it? The one just recently.
Yeah, so like my one short story won 3 awards. So it's
kind of nice, and yeah, people see that's the thing. You just don't know where these books are going to go. You just don't know how they're going to play out. It's an anthology, so you got 12 great stories in there to read from. Well, sometimes you have more than 12. Sometimes there'll be 13 or 14. It just depends what's going on.
So it's always going to be 12 stories from the winners.
Yes.
Then depending on how many pages they need to fill, that they're going to have another story by L. Ron Hubbard. They're going to have a judge write a story based off of the cover art. And then they'll have maybe one or two published finalists. So people who were in the top 8, but they didn't make the top 3, quarter. But the stories were good enough that they want to still promote them. So there's usually between 15 to 17 stories in every anthology.
See, there you go, guys. Kevin J. Anderson wrote the story for the one this year, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, and Jody wrote the stories for the 2 volumes before that, and actually she and Echo worked together. Echo did the covers for volumes, 36
and 37.
37. Yeah, Jody wrote the stories based off of my wife's artwork, and then I forget who wrote the story for volume 39 when Bob Eggleton's Mammoths and Robots.
Yeah, I don't remember either, to be honest with you.
And then Kevin J. Anderson wrote the story for volume 39 about the dragon in China.
So you got one of the top authors writing a story in here that you get to read because you got the book.
Right.
Also, the artwork on top of the book was from Tom Wood, who's one of the top illustrators in the country. The guy works for everybody in his mind. He don't even get a day off anymore.
Yep.
I was talking to him just recently. To be honest with y'all, I've seen him actually use winners from Writers of the Future to help him out.
Yep.
He just, whoops, that's not good. Lost his headset there.
No. Actually, in volume 38, my volume, Brian Herbert wrote a story. Frank Herbert wrote a story. Kevin J. Anderson wrote an article.
There's a lot of stuff in there you're only going to get by getting this. Now, yes, I know I gave away 200. I still got a few left, but I gave away 200 last year. And John originally taught me 200, but I think I ended up like 240. But anyway, we gave away 200 of these last year, and along with the lightsabers and stuff. No, you've got the one. If you won, I just seen Randy write that on here. If you won, you've got his story in there. Yes, you do.
He's going to be the cover with the mammoth and the robot. That's mine.
Yes. Yeah,
my story is Psychic Poker. It's the last one in the novel. It's the anchor position, which is, little ego boost right there.
Yeah, so he was in 38. So we gave away 36, 37, 38 last year. That's what we gave away. And we gave away 3 of each. So, yes. Oh, yes, lots of reading. I know everybody who got them loved them and were giving them to friends and family. And then I know a few people bought some. Because a lot of people they read them. They think they're only going to read them once. So they'll give them like to a daughter or a friend or a son. Or they can always ask for them back later on. But I noticed they do get spun around quite a lot. They get handed around quite a lot. They're fun stories. And that's
the thing about anthologies is that there's something for everybody in them. And with some anthologies are curated by a single author, a single editor, and they choose what they like the most. Because this is curated not by a single person, but by a group of judges, there's a wide variety of stories that are all really, really, really good.
They really are. What was that, Clara? What's an anthology? It's
a collection of short stories and novellas. That's what an anthology is.
I was just going to tell you to look it up. He did it faster for y'all. They're right there. If you look on this desk right now, you've got, let's see, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and somewhere 38 and 39 are up there as well.
This is my.
That's it. I got that damn thing somewhere. Where is it? I gotta go find it. It should be up here with this other one.
Yep.
Where the hell?
This is my collection of my best short stories and novellas put together in a single book. I talked to you about it a while ago, but
I thought, but that's when I thought I got it. It's what Denise, I'll look and see. No, I ain't gonna give it away when I find it. It's in the house there. Because there's books everywhere right now. I really got to get in here and get this office straightened out. I'd hate to bring anybody in my studio right now and be like, let's trip over the cases of the books. Yes. So you go to his website. It'll click by in just a few minutes. If you're watching us, it's going to be on the back of the banner tomorrow. It'll be on the website. So you'll click it. There it is. Look at that, man. Yep. Lazarus Black. I mean, come the hell on. How easy can you get? Y'all know I love easy anything. I do, man. Why do you think that we got uprnradio.com? I mean, why do you think we get just uprn.com sometimes or icard.com? I like it easy peasy. Well, one, it makes it easier for people to remember. When you make one this long, people are just like, I'm not typing that. Screw that. That's not. They can't copy and paste it. It's not getting in there.
I was absolutely surprised. I was looking at, LazarusBlack.com and BlackLazarus.com, but those were, those just, they didn't sound right. And when I found out that
that's amazing, they were open.
Was actually available. Oh my God. That was incredible.
I know. I'm amazed it was open. Finding a domain these days, people's like pulling teeth. They're hard. Well, no, I buy and sell them. I've been doing it for a long time, but it's not as easy as it was back in the day. We go buy like 100. Because every now and then they would release a new, like .net, .com, .org.
They have. Well, now they've got about 100 of them or even more. The problem is that there are still some websites out there that are old, and they still validate an email address, so that I'll type in my Lazarus the at Lazarus.black is my legitimate email address. And, even some of these publishers will just kick it out saying, you're not using a valid email address. I'm like, you're not using a website built within the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's true too. It's funny because we've had a rule on a network and for iCar, we've always had a rule about every 7 or 8 years we do a remodel. And the main reason is not so much because of the site looks pretty decent. It's because everything on that site is ancient pieces of what, and it's just time to update it.
Yep.
And then of course we went from millennial, and then we went to XP, and then of course after that we changed our NT formats, and then we went into 10 and 11, and we went to 8.1, which is kind of like an in between, and then we went to 10 and 11, and things change, and you got to keep up with them. I hate both 10 and 11. I ain't gonna lie. I loved 8.1. I loved XP, which I thought was the best one they ever made. Never blue screen. I could throw the thing on the damn floor and it still wouldn't blue screen. The greatest program ever written. And then Windows 8 was the biggest piece of ever on. The only thing was worse than it was millennial. And but when they put 8.1 out, they corrected it and actually did what it's a really good for commercial stuff. It is fabulous for home stuff. I mean, it's a great system, but it's too much for somebody at home. 10 is garbage. 11, 10 Pro is not that horrible, but 10 itself is. I'm sorry, people. I don't know what they were thinking about. They were smoking something today. They were down there in India smoking something good, probably some hashish, and said, "Let's see if we can make a new operating system." I'm just teasing people. Anybody writes to Lazarus, I apologize at it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just say that the biggest problem with technology is people trying to reinvent the wheels. Everyone's trying to reinvent the wheel. If it works, it's like, oh, I can make it better, and they often don't.
Well, it's like a girl was telling me the other day how good she was on building websites and all, and she said, well, we use Google a lot. I said, well, first, if you're using Google, you've already exposed yourself to a whole entire world. I said, Google doesn't keep you anything safe. They sell everything they can. I said, they've been hacked more than anybody on the damn planet. I said, when we come to use, if we've got to use one, we'll usually use, and I hate using them too. I'll use, not Edge. What the hell is it? Oh, I forgot what it is now. Yeah. And it works great. I don't have any problems. And it's got good security. It's like Yahoo versus Google on. So here's something for y'all people. About a decade ago, the federal government wanted to do some spying. So they just went into Google and some other companies and said, you're going to give us all this information. They all said yes. Then they went to Yahoo, and Yahoo said, excuse me, you better drag my ass into court. This ain't going to happen. And they did. They dragged him to court. It took them 5 years. By the time the Fed got the information from Yahoo, it was not worth anything anymore. That's the difference between a company that actually cares about the person who's actually subscribing to them and a company that doesn't. But now they've changed too, so I wouldn't rely on them either anymore. I don't know. I got a lot of security and I got a lot of backed up security. I'm just not as trusting as I used to be. It makes me, and these are radio station computers. I got a brand new 16 core 128 sitting on the floor right here. By the way, whoever made this computer, y'all could have said it didn't have it only had an HDMI for a television. I mean, for internet. I mean, for damn monitors. I never seen that anywhere on it. It's only an HDMI. One of them things. No, you can go right there at LazarusBlack.com and get it.
No, not Lazarus.com.
I did say .com, didn't it? I did say it, .black. I'm sorry. See, man, we're going to have to break myself of that already.
Yeah.
Well, that's great that he's got a .black. I think that's freaking fabulous.
Yep. I was blown away that I was able to do that.
Okay, so all right. So we got about 12 minutes, guys. So we'll go through some quick ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are standard questions, pretty much, is what these are. Let's see. Thelma from New York City.
I am happily married.
Yes, she's in the Bronx. She wanted to know what made you think you could write, and what gave you the courage to really go out and to submit this to a contest to think you could win.
So I was writing as a teenager, like 30, 40 years ago, and I felt good about what I was writing, and then I deviated away from it very simply because I couldn't get anyone to read what I wrote. But I went into art because if I held up a picture, it took people 2 seconds to respond and go, oh, that's nice. But anytime I would write something, they would put it aside and they would say, like, get to it. It would take them about 5-10 minutes to read it at most, or at least. And they wouldn't for days, weeks at a time. So I put that aside, and I was just storytelling on the side as a hobby, playing role-playing games. Eventually, fast forward, and I'm 46, 47 years old. And
He's a puppy.
And I was working really hard with my wife, and she just turns to me and says, you're not doing art anymore. You should start writing. And we knew this contest, and we knew these people, and I thought, yeah, I think I might be able to I might be ready to try that. I feel good about my storytelling ability, just not about my ability to write 2 words that people would want to read. And I looked at the contest as an opportunity to prove that I could and teach myself. So I went online, I read courses, I didn't read any books, just read stuff online. I spoke to people in writing groups, and that's an entire journey in and of itself. I got permission from the contest to submit because it was anonymous. I got permission first. It's anonymous. They didn't expect me to win. They just said, yeah, go ahead, submit. We'll worry about it, when it happens.
When it happens, yeah.
But it took me 3.5 years to get there. And of constant, writing short stories and writing this novel and teaching myself. This novel, I wrote 5 times. I wrote it 5 times. The first one I wrote initially to get the story down and to say, okay, this is kind of how I want the story to be. And I showed it to people, and with mixed reviews, but I knew it wasn't good enough with the prose, the way the words were written. And I kept writing it and writing it and writing it, getting better and better and better. And then I won the contest. And after winning the contest, that Dave Wolverton, the head judge of the contest, sent me an email congratulating me, pointing out specific things in my story that he liked, and said it was perfectly written.
Because you tried, did it a few times.
Just blew me away, and I went, okay, I can now trust that this book is the way, that I now am good enough to actually put the words together that people want to read. And I rewrote the entire thing again from scratch. So it's not like I was just dabbling. I was really working hard about figuring out how to write well. And it took me 4 years to get this book out. It is out. I'm happy with it. Is it perfect? No. Is it perfect?
Nothing's perfect, yeah.
Nothing's perfect. I have a book here that was published. It's on its 5th edition, published by Major Publishing. And on page 2, there's 2 typos. So I'm not too stressed about that, but about the typos. But overall, I'm really happy with how it came out. And it's, I've had some great reviews from people I trust. So
Christina said she loved it. That's for sure. It's typos is different now. When I was young, typo was a big thing, man. You see one in newspaper and shit. It was, but nowadays not as much. You see them a lot of times. You'll see them in stories and big newspapers or NBC, ABC, stuff like that. It's for some reason
typos and headlines suck. You don't want a typo on a title. All right, that's a big no.
Yeah, and yet you still see them today. It's
Well, nowadays people are using software to write them, and then there was some marketing guru a while ago that said for web ads, they said that people are more likely to recognize and notice a typo in an ad. So people start deliberately making typos in their ads to make them stand out on a web page, and then it's just disgusting.
There's a lot of that, and I know when I'm reading articles a lot of times because I'll notice people. I'm not the greatest, non-typo. No, when I was in school, I was, because honor roll then. But now I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna lie. So I have lazy typing habits today. But when I see that on a professional site where you're either paying money or somebody's paying money to have them up there, or somebody's paying that person money to publish that, I'm like, come on, take a little pride in your work,
Well, I used to do some pharmaceutical advertising. Yes, I was that deep in the evil of advertising.
That's evil, baby.
Yeah, and we would have a full page magazine ad, and then there would be 2 full pages of the medical and legal disclaimer. And I am not exaggerating when we would have 50 or more rounds of that legal disclaimer going to the lawyers and the proofreaders.
Oh, I don't even doubt that, not even a little bit. I've seen that. I remember when I first got on radio, I got with my lawyers, and they were like, so finally I said, you know what, you are driving me crazy. So I went and looked the law up in Louisiana. I wanted to know about recording people, what the law was. If, say, I was in a restaurant, I just decided to record somebody, I wanted to know what the law was. Well, come to find out, in Louisiana, Mississippi, and in other states, it's called the one record law. So as long as one of us is willing to be recorded, I can record them, both video and audio. I can even use it as long as I don't use it to defame the person, unless the person is defaming itself in a truth. Then I can use it. So I was like, really? I said, that was it, man. I've recorded every state trooper that's ever even talked to me, which just drives them crazy. Matter of fact, I was in a state park just recently, and my wife and I were riding there. Well, no, actually, not just recently. This was a while back, but we get stopped. He's giving shit because I forgot to put the little white thing on my dashboard. You had to fill out a little piece of paper when you go in and throw it on the dashboard. I forgot. He gave me all kind of. He's starting to be an ass. And I'm like, dude, before you go any further, I said, I just want you to know that camera right there is live. And he's, what do you mean live? I said, it's live. And I looked over. I said, right now it's about 8,000 people. I said, so every word you've said for the last 10 minutes, they've heard. I said, at this point, they're probably making recordings of it. I said, so maybe we should start this conversation over. So the next thing out of his mouth was, why don't you go ahead and leave? Just how he did it, too. And I was like, because he was going to he's going to search and do all kinds of stuff. He was just in a mood. And he caught us 12 miles back in the swamp. And he wanted to know what we were doing back there. And I wasn't giving him any answers that he wanted to hear. And then when I told him, but I've used it on a few. I had one trooper say, you're going to turn it off. I said, I am not. And you can't make me. And if you do, you're going to end up in jail, my friend, or at very least lose your job. I said, so go ahead and try to turn it off. And he went, and I said, don't put your hand inside of my car without a warrant, my friend. He was like, I was like, look, because most of the time I'm real nice if I get stuck, because I'm usually in fault. I'm speeding or doing something stupid. So I'll be like, yes, sir, no, sir. And I have family that were, my stepfather was a captain of the state police. A couple of my cousins are detectives. So I really do respect the cops. It's just, don't be an ass, and I won't be an ass. That's the best way to tell it. Darlene, no, I'm sorry. Who was that? Carl, okay, no. Go scroll. Robert, where are you from, Robert? I see your question, but I always want to ask y'all where you're from. Tallahassee. Tallahassee, you from Florida, boy? What you doing out there in Tallahassee? What kind of question? Oh, no, I don't know. So he wanted to know if you were going to be in Tampa at the TampaCon. That's what he was asking.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm not going to be at MegaCon either. Sorry.
Yes. But John and Emily Goodwin will be there if you want to go down and see them. And
they will be.
They're going to be in Tampa for this year. Matter of fact, in 2 weeks. Honestly, to be honest with y'all, I may. I don't know if I'm going to try to be down there with them. I love to go hang out with them, but I like to just go hang out to watch Sarah. If y'all ever get to see little Sarah, Sarah's like the freaking whirlwind, man. Y'all ever seen Dune the Whirlwind? That's Sarah, man. I went, oh shit! I'd hire her tomorrow. John would let me. The girl is just one of the best salesmen I've ever seen, and she is just. Plus, she's cute. She's all like sweet and innocent looking. You're all like, oh, hi there, young lady. Would you like to buy 10 books? Yeah, sign here. Next thing you know, you're going home with a case of books, man. No, it's evil, but she is really nice. So before we go, we're going to get one more question in, but so y'all know, if you ever do get lucky enough to win, I can tell y'all from personal experience, from hanging out with everybody, they're a great, great group of people. Nobody's going to harass you. Nobody's going to try to get you signed up for anything. You're just there because you won. You're going to give exposure to some of the top people in the United States, both in writing and in illustration. Oh yeah. And I've met most. The only judge I don't think I haven't met, it was Orson Scott Card. I don't think I've met him personally. I've been to a couple of things he's been to, but I don't think I've met him personally. And one of the illustrator judges I haven't met, but everybody else I've met. They're a great group of people. I would try to win. If I wasn't friends with him, I would try to win. Just like go hang out. So, all right, Randy. I mean, Marisa, what is your question, Marisa? Where are you from, Marisa? Los Angeles. I don't even know if I should give you a question. That's like not fair. You know all about writers of the future. So what's your question? You know where you can buy the book. It's right there. We put it on the screen.
Yeah,
And-
it's at this time it is not at a bookseller near you,
yes,
unfortunately.
yes.
And
It wouldn't matter. These people, they could buy it online anyway.
the ebook will be coming out this fall. I'm just looking to hoping that people will give me some nice reviews so that when I launch the ebook that I can say, hey, people actually like it. With this particular genre, that it's hard to find people who are dedicated to doing reviews of urban fantasy and magical realism. There are some people that do it, but they're so backlogged, it can take 6 to 9 months for them to get to it. And then they're well-meaning people. They just going to have their preferences. And
Yeah.
I don't know if this book style is going to fit their preferences. So rather than put it in front of people that are reputable but might be looking for a different novel than this, I'm going to be just putting out and telling people and let them decide if they're the right reader for it.
Marissa, I don't know where the hotel is until they send me my information for the week. Yeah, they keep that guarded. They're gonna tell y'all where it is, and even if I knew, I wouldn't tell y'all. Oh man, that was just wrong. You're gonna send Lazarus chocolate, and he'll tell you the secret. What is with this? Okay, people, what is this thing with this Canadian chocolate thing lately? So a bunch of the Canadians think
if it's Canadian, I'll take the maple cream cookies.
Oh, there you go. There you go. See, there you go. That might get you. That might get you in the doorway. Nobody's gonna. Most of us don't even know when the damn things. We know what the date's usually going to be, but we don't know where the hotels are. I don't know. I don't even want to know. To be totally honest with you, there's things I don't need to know until Joni sends me over my stuff. I don't need to know anything else. I know I enjoy going. I have a lot of fun, and I like meeting people like Lazarus and other people that attended. And his other half's fun too. And then there's a bunch of other people out there that are fun. A lot of judges. Well, I'll let him answer this, but so somebody had just written in and they wanted to know the seriousness of the judges while they're there because they hear me talking about them playing sometimes. But I'll let Lazarus explain that to you before we roll out of
here. Seriousness?
The judges,
I was leading into that.
I'm sorry.
We're all extremely passionate about our craft. I am both an artist and a writer. I am passionate about both. I'm passionate about the craft. I'm passionate about the industry. I'm passionate about the people who also find it, are passionate about those things. And when you get people together who are passionate about the same thing, it's electric. And all the judges there, we're not. When we talk about BarCon, we're not going there and talking about, how we went hunting or fishing while we're drinking. We're talking about writing. We're talking about art.
Very passionate
about the book deals. The judges are mentoring the people. They're saying, this is what happened to me. This is what my last contract was. This is this famous story about how this other author who's a friend of mine was inspired to write this particular novel or this particular thing. You have to listen to Kevin J. Anderson talk about, his relationship with Neil Peart and how, that and how their writing relationship developed and how they came up with their books. You get to hear from Tim Powers about what he's legally allowed to say about the whole his book On Stranger Tides being co-opted to create the Pirates of the Caribbean series of movies. You get to hear Orson Scott Card talk about the difference between his religious novels and his sci-fi novels. And so, we're all having fun because this is fun. This is what we're passionate about. And we're all hanging out and we're having a great time. But it's to say the word serious is wrong, because people have the impression that serious means stoic and dedicated. Like, no, we're passionate. When we're talking, we're like this is what we love and this is what we're talking about.
It's true. They are. It's all I can tell y'all people is when you'll learn more in that 1 week than you will in 3 years of school. That's all I can tell y'all. I personally, I've learned enough that I'm at 22,600 words now. And before I met these guys, look, I've been asked to write anything now for, Jesus, at least 35 years. Finally, I meet these guys by listening, and I'm not there to listen to them. I'm there to work press. I'm just sitting in on the classes, so I'm absorbing this. Now I've got 4 years in with these people, and now I've actually sat down and I'm actually listening to personal conversations between the judges. Who was it? I think it was who was it? I was talking with Dean about the lead singer from Rush. These are conversations you're just not going to get.
You're talking about Kevin J. Anderson and
Kevin
Neil
J.
Pearson,
Anderson,
who's the drummer.
Yeah. So
great friend of his.
I was sitting there having a drink with Dean and him, and he got into it really in deep. So, and John asked me if I was going to write anything about it. I said I might, but I'm going to have to ask him before I publish it, because, I mean, there was a lot of material in there, a lot of good stuff. People, that's all I can tell you is you have to be there. And don't ever be scared to approach the judges. And if you are, find someone like myself or Lazarus, and we'll introduce you. I spend a lot of my time, believe it or not, and I didn't know this was part of my job there, is introducing winners to the judges, because they get nervous. And I tell them, I'm not, they can't get mad at me. I'm nobody. Come on, let me introduce you to them. And I'll bring them over, and they want to meet y'all. That's the thing, people. They want to meet y'all. They want to teach y'all, really. I can't tell you when, and you'll learn. You might even become a millionaire one of these days.
You can also learn from the Rise of the Future. The RiseOfTheFuture.com has lecture series that you can watch where they give some lectures telling you how to win. But the best thing about meeting these incredible authors, legendary authors, is that they each have a different path to success. There is no single path to success. Dean Wesley Smith's path to success was to just overload and write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of novels. He can write a 60,000-word novel in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he's successful. But he's never won an award, and he's never, and he's almost never had, serious bestsellers. I think he did win an award back in the 80s. And then you have Rob Sawyer. Rob Sawyer has published less than 10 novels, but every single one of those has won a Hugo or a Nebula or a President's Award, or he has written less than 10 novels, and he has 4 Lifetime Achievement Awards. You can talk to all these different authors and find their story, and you can figure out where your path might be. My path is going to be a lot closer to Rob Sawyer's. I have a couple of awards, which means that I can write something that people will want to read, but I am so focused in crafting each story that I don't think I'm ever going to publish more than 20 novels in, what's the rest of my lifetime.
I'll get one of them lucky. He's talking about Dean Wesley. Dean does everything. Yeah, he does. So y'all understand, he doesn't just write. He has his own corporation. He does
his own publishing company. Yeah, he and his wife.
And which was nice for these young people to hear. Or I shouldn't say. I always do this because most of the authors are not young people. Most of the authors are 30-something to 40-something. That's where the majority of them fit in.
Yeah.
It usually takes them that long to win and stuff. Oh no, I love it. I mean, for me. So when I first was doing this, I thought I was going to be talking to kids. When I got there and found that, oh no, there are people that are older than I was. Shit, that was great. People in their 40s. There was a lot of, life experiences, what I should say. And when you talk with an author who has life experience, the shows are going to always be better because they have life experience. The illustrators are a little different. They're usually a little younger, and some of them have this much life experience.
To get the level of skill you need to win for an artist, you pretty much need some dedicated, serious training. And that, you don't need to have a vision as much as you need to have skill. That takes training. There are some good art schools that, a few teenagers can do it. Most people have their art degree, or they spent 10, 20 years self-teaching themselves till they were good enough. But to be an author, you can learn how to, you can teach yourself how to write in a relatively short period of time. I think I proved that I learned in 3 years. That's pretty self-taught.
Yeah.
That's a pretty short period of time. However, having something to say, what are you actually writing about? Why are you writing it? What makes it special and different? That takes maturity. It takes practice. It takes experience. Yes, there are some young winners, but the overall, as Joe said, the average age of the author winner is about 15 years older than the average age of the artist winner.
Yes.
And the difference is what you're creating. Illustrators are painting what someone tells them to, and authors are creating their own stories from scratch. My winning story, Psychic Poker, is about a middle-aged Australian curmudgeon who happens to be a psychic who's forced to play poker against other psychics against his will. I could not have written this story when I was 25. I didn't know enough about so many things, including people, in order to really get this character across in a way that would be enjoyable to read. The novel that I have, this novel is the culmination of decades of knowledge that I've built up of people, of knowledge that I've learned through advertising and sociology, but of religions, comparative religions, of Buddhism, of knowing countless Asian Americans or
That helps.
people with an Asian ethnicity who are born and raised in America, with my kids who are queer. These are all influences that I didn't have that culminated inside of a story with real people, real dialogue, with real problems. And then I throw in all the dynamics and the creativity of magic and dragons and all these other things that tie together, that I could have written that part when I was 16. But it
but
really
you needed the rest of it to make it
mean something.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, no, guys. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, because every time when I listen to him talk, it makes me think about the first time I ever tried to write a book. I said, you know what? I almost threw the computer out the window, by the way. I'm not serious. This bitch almost went out the window. And my wife was just like, it didn't do that. You're the idiot, not it. I'm like, no, it's going. This computer has no creative control. But anyway, it's and I've actually got a lot of stuff written down and things. It's just nothing I would consider I'd want to turn in. Now, this thing I'm working on right now, which is about an 11-day story, this is different, and this is going to be way huge. I keep telling John I'm channeling Elrond. And when this thing is, I mean, it's only on day 3, and it's almost 30,000, almost 26.5. I mean, it's by the time it's on day 11, it's going to be ridiculous. I told him I'm print it all out, stick it in vanilla envelope and send it to me. She's going to hurt me. Well, we were talking about this earlier on writersofthefuture.com. You can go take a free course to learn how to write. Well, the last piece of the course is you have to write a story. So I'm just going to write this one and send it to her. Oh, man. Y'all got to understand. I love Emily to death. She's my favorite person to pick on. Well, in my top 5 favorite people to pick on. Yes. Emily and Michelle, I like to pick on a lot too. Yes. No, we got to go, guys. We're already past time. The man got a life. He got a wife. I'm surprised she ain't been out here snatching him, by his whiskers, saying, "Come on, but what's the time up?" Well, he's earlier than us. He's out west, so he's what is it, like 6 out there? Some 6:15.
Yeah, 6:15 with where I am right now.
Yeah, so he's out west. No, Donnie, you're out east, so it's an hour later for you. It's 9:15 where you are. What you want me to tell you? It's what is it? It's 3 a.m. in the UK.
Yeah, I'm near Seattle.
Yes, he's up there where the crazy people live. Yes. See, Seattle used to be my favorite city in the world, and then all of a sudden, oh no, it became Detroit. I'm not going there anymore. I'm like, nope. God, people, I'm telling you, they took over the whole city. Come on, give me a break. I'd have been out there with my rifle going, excuse me, people, you're going home now. Go back to your house. Where's Martha? You're lucky Martha's not up there because Martha would have been saying, remove back to your house. No, I'm just teasing people. If you get a chance to visit Seattle, you should. Or Portland. Most of the cities out west are nice with the exception of San Francisco. And it used to be nice. It's just got issues now. And okay, real quick before we go, it's not that if you go to San Fran, precautions. Put rubber things on your shoes to start off with. It's got some defunct things going on out there.
I lived in New York City in the 90s.
No, that's bad.
No, here's what happened. And this is the truth. This is absolutely factual. The city had, I don't want to say a homeless problem, but there were homeless people. It was difficult for a lot of people during the 90s. And there was a big push by the mayor at the time to corporatize, New York City. And he wanted to make his bones as being, the mayor that cleaned up the city. One day, we woke up, I took the bus in the city, and I didn't see a single homeless person for 3 days. Suddenly, the news broke out that the mayor had handed bus tickets to 1,500 homeless people to travel to San Francisco, Los Angeles, Portland, and Seattle. Handed them free bus tickets to leave New York. He then advertised that he had cleaned up New York City. And guess where they went?
Well, the Texas and Florida governors did the same thing. I guess I shouldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Texas, they sent them to New York, though. They said, here in New York, you don't know what it's like to have a bunch of homeless immigrants in your town. Hold on, we're going to send you a few, let you feel out. Oh, I don't know, people. All I can say, we live in 2023. There should not be anyone homeless in our country.
Exactly. For
every one person alive in the United States today, there are 21 places to live. 21. And we got homeless people. I'm not saying the rich people should give up their condos, but I'm saying there's got to be a better system than this.
Well, I have, I have family with some pretty severe mental handicaps, and we're taking care of them as the best we can. But if something happens to me, if something happens to my wife, if something happens to the other caretakers in my family, we get in an auto accident or something, those people are not going to survive. They're not going to be able to pay for their own housing. They're going to have to go somewhere, and there's no place for them to go. It's a
little crazy right now.
It really is.
It's a nightmare. I know when one of my uncles and aunts, we were selling the property we owned and they had to move, and finding a place for them to go. And they had Social Security in the whole 9 yards, and still it was challenging. We got lucky, but man, it was, I don't know, people. I would not, today's world, I would not want to have to rely on anybody but my family and myself. I gotta be honest with y'all. It makes me nervous. Write a book on that. Lazarus can write a book on that. I'm not writing any book on that. No, I understand what he means, though, because I know just recently in New Orleans, all the underpass of the bridges had homeless tents. And one afternoon, we come through, and there was not one left. They went and hauled them all up. They took bulldozers to all their personal shit, just bulldozed it away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They said they told them, they warned them morning, you had to go, and they didn't go. So,
but they don't have anywhere to go.
That's the problem. They don't have anywhere to go. And nobody wants – you got to remember, people, it's not like living in a country around here. You can't go out to the country. You go out to the country, an alligator will eat your ass. Or water moccasin or black. Anyway, the swamps are very dangerous. And if you're not familiar with them, you're going to end up dead. So, and there's no
red
country
ants.
Nearby. Yes, red ants. I mean, it's a bad place. And then somebody's got to fix it. And obviously, the people in charge right now aren't going to fix anything. And what scares me worse is I don't know who the next people in charge are going to be. It's making me a little antsy. I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. I just want, you know what I want? I want a president like a Reagan or a Clinton that can unite the country and not divide the country. Reagan wasn't perfect by any means. Clinton wasn't perfect by any means. But you know what? They didn't divide the country. They united the country. Now all we got is, and George Bush, George Bush united the country. But
I have to interrupt right here because I don't really want to get into a politics.
Oh, I don't either. Go ahead.
Discussion right now with,
Oh, I don't blame you. No, we got to go anyway.
Yeah, we have to go anyway. So.
Yeah. So
thank you, Joe, so much.
Oh, no, I love it. Yeah, people, write to whoever you want to. Be sure you just go get the book. There it is. It's going to come by nice and slow on you. Now, remember, people will be up in the archive, so you can click anytime you want and take it out of there. And tomorrow it'll be up on the website. And live long and prosper is all I can tell you, people. Have a good life. On that note, we got to go. Y'all all have a good weekend coming up, and stay out of trouble.
One last thing: if
Okay.
anyone wants the ebook, and they want to be alerted to when the ebook comes out, on my website there's actually a sign up list for a newsletter, and I'll make the announcement and exactly when the ebook comes out, because I know that the soft cover can be cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So
yes, so do me a little favor when you get a little free time, write me. Just write me something along with your email saying, "Hey, this is where you can sign up," and I'll put it on the website so they can click straight into it off the website.
As soon as they get there, it's on the homepage. So
okay. I was talking about off our website is what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Because we got lots of space now to actually put stuff on. Guys and girls, we're way over time. Lazarus, again, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Joe.
Y'all can go hate on whoever you want. I don't care whoever you want to hate on, go hate on them. As long as it's not real hate, okay? That's all I'm saying. Good night, y'all, and go hang out and go check out the girls. I know they're on right now. Emilia Pisano and Michelle DeRoche. Go see how they're doing, and I will see y'all Friday night for Crazy People Night. Good night.
Thank you.